Yeah. Blackjack. Life is like a game of cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Yeah. Blackjack. To play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY, Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be one of the first people, like I always say, notified when I drop some of this straight game, please hit the bell notification. You're very much appreciated. Breaking news. Marion Suge Knight's former attorney just pleaded guilty to conspiracy and perjury charges, and he will be barred from practicing law for life after prosecutors accused him of plotting to bribe witnesses so they would lie for the rap mogul when he faced murder charges in 2016. Basically, the prosecutors had accused Matthew Fletcher, who's 57 years old, of conspiracy to suborn perjury, obstruct justice, and bribe witnesses after obtaining a warrant to listen in on jailhouse phone calls between the attorney and Suge Knight in 2015. He also was charged with an accessory after the fact in Knight's case and faced an unrelated count of bribery in connection with testimony he gave at a disciplinary hearing before the State Bar of California in 2016. What I find interesting about this is this is the same playbook basically that was played out when the thing happened in Vegas, when they had jumped Orlando Anderson, and Suge paid Orlando, I think the amount of $60,000 to come to court and testify on his behalf that Suge Knight wasn't one of the people that actually kicked him, when in fact that was on video, as well as the situation in Compton in the Tams Burger parking lot. That was on video too. So I don't understand the logic in that, and trying to get somebody to come to court to say something other than actually what happened when it's actually on video. I just don't understand that. But basically, the jurors had started to weigh in on the verdict, and before they could come back with a verdict, I think the day they were about to come back with the verdict, Mr. Fletcher basically reached a plea deal. Basically, that's what Fletcher's, the lawyer's co-counsel, Alexandra Kazarian, basically said. And under the terms of the deal that Suge Knight's former lawyer, reached, he pleaded guilty. He pleaded basically no contest to one count of conspiracy to obstruct justice and one count of perjury. He will also be placed on probation for 5 years and must resign from the state bar for life, according to Kazarian, who said that if Fletcher does not resign within 90 days, he could face jail time. If convicted as charged, basically he would have been facing up to like 4 years in prison. And so, what I also find is that, like, talking on the phone and, people, all of these things that we hear about people being smart and intelligent and so on and so forth, you would think that they would know better than to talk on the phone. We also know basically that Suge pleaded guilty in 2018 to voluntary manslaughter, more than 3 years after he basically drove his Ford F-150 into what was to believe a friend of his, rest in peace, brother Terry Carter, and Claiborne Sloan in the parking lot of Tams Burgers in Compton. And as everybody knows that Terry Carter basically died of his injuries. The crazy part about this is Sunday, if you will, on the Super Bowl, I don't know if you paid attention, but when Dr. Dre and them began to perform, as the camera was panning up, there was a sign of the Tams Burger, right? Number 21, that's in Compton, where this incident happened. I don't know if that was a friendly reminder to Suge Knight as to what landed him in prison, or I don't really know if Tams bought some advertising space. I really don't know what that was, but I just found that to be ironic and quite a coincidence that would be something that, you know, they would use as part of that backdrop. I must admit that Tam's does have good burgers and great food. And they stay open like a little bit later than most restaurants in California. Basically, Suge Knight, basically his overall claim at that particular time was that he was defending himself from attacks from armed assailants. Prosecutors alleged that in their effort to bolster that claim, Suge Knight's attorney Fletcher and another of Knight's attorneys, Thaddeus Culpepper, plotted to pay witnesses to say they saw a group of men with guns confronting Suge when it was actually on tape. I don't know how that would work out when it was on tape. So, you know, that thinking, I really don't, I don't know what went into that. You know what I mean, if you will. But basically, check this out. Detectives first heard Knight and his fiancee, Toy Lynn Kelly, discuss paying witnesses on a jailhouse call in 2015. When Kelly said Fletcher had put bread on the streets to try to get people to come forward, based on comments made in those phone calls, investigators from the LA County Sheriff's Department obtained a warrant to listen to calls between Suge Knight and his attorney, Mr. Fletcher, that would have otherwise been protected by attorney-client privileges. They waited some time. Months later, you know, the detectives, they basically sent an informant at Suge to approach Suge with an offer to provide useful testimony, even though he admitted he was not at the crime scene. So they basically set Suge up. You know what I mean? And I guess they you know, took the bait. They sent the snitch at Suge, and, you know, I guess he took the bait. In recorded conversations with the informant, Suge Knight's attorney made several comments that prosecutors pointed to as proof of a conspiracy. And this is what Suge Knight's attorney basically said on the phone. If these motherfuckers got a price, well, let's get that motherfucker price paid, Fletcher said to the informant on one call played in court. I told Suge, man, you can always make some more money. You can't make more freedom, though. You know, that's what he told Suge. And so I guess they were riding with that theory. Now, this is what a jailhouse snitch. Wow. You would think that they would have been smarter than that. While Fletcher and some defense attorneys have expressed concerns that the case was part of an overly broad pursuit of Knight and his inner circle, prosecutors have repeatedly painted the case as a necessary effort to purge the legal system of corrupt attorneys. At one point during the closing arguments, Deputy District Attorney Stephen Martrich compared Fletcher to fictional lawyer Saul Goodman, the morally bankrupt defense counsel to drug kingpin Walter White on the AMC show Breaking Bad. Wow. The justice system needs lawyers to seek the truth, Deputy District Attorney Phil Sterling said after the deal was reached Wednesday. There is no place for dirty lawyers. Justice was served. Wow. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. And then, you know, what they also are saying that the other attorney in Suge's case, basically, you know, he's Culpepper has yet to be tried in state court. He is scheduled to face trial on federal charges of cashing more than $1 million in stolen checks next month. My God. Basically, Suge Knight's lawyer, he basically denied all wrongdoing at trial. He said any comments he was heard making on the calls about money were in reference to his interest in compensating people for videos they may have shot at the scene that showed attackers with armed guns. Fletcher has repeatedly reminded jurors that prosecutors did not produce any witnesses who said he asked them to lie or offered them money. Basically, that wouldn't have to happen. You were on the phone. They got the phone conversation. You know what I mean? And so, you know, they pieced it together basically using a jailhouse snitch and, you know, wiretaps. Usually that's all they usually need. You know what I mean? And then this is a state case. You know, in the Fed's case, this would have been an open and shut. You probably wouldn't even have went to trial. So, basically they're basically saying the guidelines, or should I say the rules to win a conspiracy charge. And it says to win a conspiracy charge conviction, prosecutors needed to prove only that Fletcher and one of his co-conspirators, a group that included Knight, Kelly, and Culpepper, plotted to either bribe a witness, obstruct justice, or suborn perjury. Or that means to get people to lie. And so, it's sad, man. He said the terms of the deal, however, might serve as a painful reminder to other lawyers of the risk of running up against the edges of the law on behalf of their clients. Shapiro said, everything he worked for in life, he has to give up now, Shapiro said. That could be worse than jail time. And the prosecution knows that too. Wow. Yeah. Your boy DELRAY, straight game.